so I'm one of the co-founders of the startup. I decided to follow most of the side that is marketing, business development, and growth. So all the partnerships that get done external world, and my co-founders are mainly technical people. So one is CTO focusing on backend, and then I have a designer focusing more on the user experience of the app, and my last co-founder is product. So he's the person in between the business side and the technical side of the development. It's really important to try and find founders that are complementary to your skills. And I think with this team, we really are all doing very different roles. Yeah, sure. So I started my career in investment banking after my my undergraduate degree. Like many people, it's a easy track to follow. I moved to London from Italy, and I started working at Morgan Stanley in finance. And even though I really enjoyed the fast pace, I knew I wanted to work in the technology environment. Therefore, I decided to go and do an MBA in the United States, where I thought it would be the right place to learn more about entrepreneurship. And I went to study at NYU. After my MBA, I decided to go to San Francisco to work with tech companies, and I helped a few tech companies through their IPO process, so when they were already a little bit bigger. From that experience, I realized that I wanted to work at a really small startup, and therefore I got contacted by Rocket Internet. Rocket Internet, I don't know if you are all aware of it, but it's a very large international brand. It's born in Germany, headquartered in Berlin, but has internet companies all around the world. One of the popular ones in Europe is Zalando, but it has very different e-commerce, mainly startups in pretty much every single country in the world, with over 33,000 employees working there. So I went to launch, or they had just launched their Zalando for Asia and I went to the Malaysian office to help with the operations. So I was in charge of managing the warehouse and customer support and everything that has to do from the moment a person decides to buy a product to them receiving it home. This was an incredible experience, and in 2012, obviously, e-commerce wasn't that widespread in Asia, even if today probably Asia is on the forefront of technological development. And so we had to really figure out how to get products through an e-commerce platform to people around Malaysia and around the whole of Southeast Asia. After that, I decided to move back to Italy to launch Uber. When I joined Uber, they were a small startup, actually, with less than 15 cities. And by the time we launched Milan, we were city number 20 of the whole Uber world. We decided to launch Milan because it was a important fashion capital, and there were a lot of people who were traveling to the city, and 1 year after there would have been the Expo exhibition, and so we thought it would be a strategic place for Uber to be present. Obviously, after that, many of you know the development and the story of Uber, but I stayed in the company from being a 100-person team to a over 6,000 people team, with from 20 cities to over 600 cities all over the world. And I saw and was part of an crazy growth that the company was seeing. And I was in charge of operations and being the general manager and management for the whole of Italy. And that's what I did for about 3 years. After I left Uber, I decided I was ready to start my own company, and I spent a little bit of time with VCs as what they call is an entrepreneur in residence. So practically they take people who want to become entrepreneurs, and while they're thinking about their project, they also have them help them on existing startups that are in their portfolio, and I did that for about a year between Milan and Paris, and then I started over.